Hey everybody, it's Jolyn O'Black here. I'm just doing my third scope of the day where I'm going to talk a little bit about how to get prepared for, hi Bushra, hello, she's here, how you get prepared for doing a broadcast. But I want to first start with something that I always have up on my wall because it's really important. From Seth Godin, that you really need to focus your marketing on talking to that one group of people that you're meant to serve. So when you talk to everyone, you really talk to no one. So it's really important that everything you do is focused on your target market, using their words and acknowledging their struggles so that they know you've got the solution. So I'm going to flip you guys around. Hello, everybody. So I want to tell you, hello. So many people in here. It's so cool. Whole 5 people. The funny thing is I had 25 in the last one and I felt like I just hit the lotto, but I'm happy with 5. Appreciate that. My name is Jolyn O'Black. I'm a marketing strategist. Hey, Meta. I call myself a marketing solutionista. I'm a tech geek. I'm pretty much into everything social media and offline marketing as well, because that's how I got my start in my business, was doing traditional marketing in healthcare. Hello again. Thank you for joining me again. And so now I do online marketing and help businesses kind of stand out from the crowd. And also I spend a lot of time with people who are overwhelmed by technology and all the tools and trying to figure out how to make something work for their business. And Periscope is kind of my new addiction. I watch a lot of scopes. I probably watched over 200 and I've done a handful of them, but I'm going to be doing more. And today I've done 3 scopes, which I think is the most I've done in a day because of this woman whose name is Bushra. If you have not heard of Bushra Azar, she's on the Periscope now, but she is somebody I've been following for a while, and she's a persuasion strategist. She's just knows everything about buyer psychology. It's something I've always been interested in, is understanding why people buy, what prompts them, what motivates them. And she had this really great idea to stress us all out and say, do 10 scopes a day. And I thought, there's no way I'm going to do 10. I still don't know if I'll do 10, but I'm determined to try. This is number 3. So in my first 2 scopes, I talked about the do's and don'ts of periscoping. And it was more of a 2-way conversation, 3-way conversation with a couple people about what they find on periscopes as a viewer that's sort of frustrating or annoying or weird. Because I think we probably all know there's things that we do that are a little bit skeptical at first, especially if you're a newbie. So we talked about a couple of those, and I'm actually putting together a little bit of a resource on those types of things. So I'm always kind of interested in how can we do better. Hello. Thanks for joining. How can we do better as broadcasters to give you the best possible experience? So if you know anybody that's interested in sharing tips and information about their experience, share out this broadcast so that they can follow me on Periscope so we can talk, or follow me on Twitter, because that's where I'm going to go to get some more information from people about their disgusting actions. Yeah, I could tell you about 5 or 6 different things that I've seen just today. And that's kind of was the first 2 scopes, was really talking about that. And so if you have ideas, let me know, even on this scope, even though that's not really what I'm going to talk about. I'm interested in getting your feedback on that. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about a resource I put together on getting prepared for Periscope. So I'm kind of curious, for those that do Periscopes, type in the comments here and let me know if you do Periscopes yourself, or if you're just a viewer. I want to know, who I have here, because I'm kind of interested in your preparation process. And the reason I asked that question is I have a lot of people, I'm in a couple of different groups that are very specific for Periscope. So the goals of those groups are to help people use that technology a little more efficiently, understand how to repurpose that content for content marketing purposes. So there's a lot of great tips that we share in that group. And so a lot of the questions that came in were, how do I get prepared? How do I stay focused? Because it's easy with all the comments and people coming in and out of the room for a broadcaster to kind of like lose focus. So, and hearing a lot of those complaints, and also having my own struggles when I first started, I started putting together a little bit of a resource to help people stay focused. So I'm kind of interested in, no prep over 90, just be myself. Okay, that's cool. you're probably more extroverted. I'm interested in finding out the difference because I'm more of an introvert. So I'm more focused. I'm naturally just try to get really prepared. So I focus a lot on what am I going to talk about? What are my points? And if I go in randomly without something written down or something to guide me, I do kind of find that I go all over the place, and I can easily get drawn out of my content point by a comment or by trolls or by something, something else. So I'm kind of interested in if there's a difference between people who go in and they're kind of not planned out, but they're maybe more extroverted. They're comfortable maybe in that more on Periscope, so they don't need guides or checklists to help them. So I'm kind of interested in how people get prepared like that. And if you don't get prepared, is it because you just feel naturally more comfortable? Yes, I am. And yes, squirrel. I don't know what do you mean by squirrel? Is that something that helps you stay focused, or is that a tool, or are we talking about an actual squirrel? Let me know what you're talking about so I can understand a little bit more about how you get prepared. So here's what I do, just to give people a sense of kind of how I get prepared. From movie up. I don't know if there's a movie. Is there a movie? Did I miss some really good movie about squirrels and getting prepared? Here's how I get prepared, because I know I have like 6 different topics. And so I focus on what are the 3 or 4 things that I want to get out, and I write down those particular points. And then I have a little spreadsheet that I have up when I do my Periscope. And I always make sure that I have a clear call to action and the things that I want to discuss so that I can connect with my viewer outside of Periscope. So I always make sure that I have some idea of where I want to send them for a resource, to continue talking to me, to download something. So I always feel like I have to be very specific about what those calls to action are, what those website links are, so how I'm going to connect them with that resource. And then I always want to remember, are there important points that I want to point out? Like, for example, at this scope, obviously I'm going to talk about the challenge in Bushra and her group. So that's something that I can easily talk about, but I could totally forget about it. So I always have a few things written out so that I understand, my audience, what it is I want to deliver, and where I want to send them for a call to action, which is really just a fancy way of saying, give them value or stay connected with your audience outside of Periscope so you can kind of continue those discussions. So that for me really helps me stay focused. So as I'm talking to you right now, I've got the spreadsheet up, and I want to talk about why I developed it. What was the real reason I was seeing out there? What were the frustrations that people were having, which I discussed. And I wanted to talk also just generally about the importance of content marketing, which is essentially, what we're doing here. Now, this is video content, but once you pull this down and you repurpose it for something else, it becomes something different. And that's content that can live on long after your Periscope session is gone from Periscope itself. So some ideas for content marketing and things that you might want to develop to kind of continue that conversation are really important, so that you can bring people back to that point or back to that scope session that was really important. So that's why being prepared for your Periscope is important, so that you follow those points and that your scope has some value for your viewers. So that's something else that I wanted to discuss in this particular Periscope. I'll probably do a separate scope just on a couple different ways that I've repurposed my content and used it outside of Periscope to help drive traffic either to my offer or to my opt-in. So that might be a separate topic because I definitely geek out a lot about that. And so I'd be interested in having you guys, if you're interested in that topic, jump on that scope. But in terms of preparation, after I do my hashtag tagline that I'm going to use, make sure that I have the right title. I make sure that I have my pain points, the important things that I want to focus on for the scope. I have my call to action. I have the reminders and things that I want to do as shout outs. If I need to use pretty links or use bit.ly links to create short, memorable website addresses so I can get people to that resource, I do that obviously before I start the broadcast. And then I make sure in my planning that I focus on my pre-marketing and my post-marketing. So the stuff that I'm going to do beforehand to promote the scope, and the stuff that I'm going to do after to promote the scope after it's ended. So there's a lot of work that I put in. I probably more to post-marketing than pre-marketing. And there's a reason for that. because I'm more of, except for today, I'm more of a spontaneous scoper. I mean, I do plan out what I talk about, but I don't set dates and times where I'm going to be on Periscope to talk. That's partly because of my schedule and lots of things I have to get done. Or, something comes up because I do right now live with people and I do look after my father. So there's certain things that I have to do where it's just like, I don't have time. I can't make that a priority. I have to do family stuff. So I don't necessarily plan a scope a day ahead or even, an hour ahead. Sometimes it just kind of happens. So some of my pre-marketing is a little simple. I mean, it's not really pre-marketing. It's like maybe a half hour or 20 minutes before I'll go to my Facebook groups and I'll promote in there. And if I can, I send an email out to my list. So there's a little bit of pre-marketing, but I do a lot of stuff after. So part of my pre-planning is going, okay, how am I going to take this content, reuse it after the event, so I can keep getting benefits of it and so I can keep connecting with my market. So that's part of my pre-planning for my scopes. And then I also try to do this evaluation, and this is something I'm putting together in this resource list, which is I'm kind of hoping that Periscope does more and puts a little more time into the analytics and the statistics. Because what I want to do is I want to look at all my scopes and I want to look at how many live viewers I had, how many people shared it out. I want to look at the retention rate, which is something that Periscope has as a statistics. It's about building it. Yeah. Think sounds like I don't overthink. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, I don't think it's bad to not overthink. Just because of how my mind works, I want to get the most out of one piece of content. So I do a little pre-planning and a lot of stuff after the event. Thanks, Martin, for inviting people. I appreciate that. So when it comes to the statistics and the things that Periscope monitors, the retention rate, which is kind of a weird word for me because retention is something that you measure over time. So I don't know how you measure a Periscope session and measure retention because retention is long term. But whatever, I'm sure they meant like just how much is somebody watching it and how many people are staying in it. If you're able to look at your statistics over a period of time, say you do 5 scopes a day, 5 scopes a week, you might be able to find some things out about your, hey, queen of tea. I'm a queen of coffee and sometimes tea. Thanks for joining. If you're able to look at your analytics for your statistics for your broadcast over a period of time, you might see some fluctuations. You might see some changes. Woo, yes, tea and coffee. In fact, I still have my coffee here from the morning that I haven't finished. So that's how crazy today's been. Thanks for joining me. I think over time, you can look at something like that and see something pretty interesting. And as a traditional, marketer, we're kind of trained to focus everything on the analytics, right? So if you do an email campaign, if you're doing direct mail, if you're doing something like this on social media, everything you do should be driven by that. So if you notice your email rates are bad, your open rates are bad, you got to do something about it. And you make changes based on the analytics. So I feel like after 7 or 8 Periscopes, looking at some of those statistics, if Periscope decides to build those out a little bit more, that could give you some really cool information, I think. And there was, thanks for the heart. There was an update to Periscope recently where they are now allowing you, or they've created something where you can go back and you can look at your statistics from your past replays. I think before you couldn't do that, or they weren't that robust. So I think my prediction is that they're going to have to do, for us marketers, for people in business, they're going to have to do better, maybe provide better statistics and things, because I'm interested in how many shared. There's so many things that I want to know. They think more people are watching, or how to scopes. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's more about personality and stuff, but for me, for everybody, I mean, it's definitely breaks down that barrier, so you get more personal, you get understanding who that person is, what they're struggling with every day, maybe commonalities from a branding standpoint. So it's really important. But if I'm spending time doing it as a business and I'm investing money or time or staff time into it, I want to make sure that it's actually helping to drive sales and drive other business for me. So it'd be interesting to see what Periscope actually builds out in their analytics a little bit, because it is really important. That's why Facebook and all the other social networks have that built in. It's because they know how important it is, because I'll make a decision on staying on Periscope versus focusing on Facebook if I'm able to track which one is doing more for me, for my business. So we'll have to see how that goes, because I'm pretty much a geek about that. I think it's really, really important to know how much resources and time to put into something, and if you're converting people, but it also gives you as a broadcaster, as a business, an opportunity to make corrections and do things differently. So if your topic isn't of interest, if your title doesn't have the right hashtags, if you're finding that you're driving people to an opt-in and it's just not converting, those are all things that you can take back and think about, well, what am I going to do different to make that better, to get better results? So that's just how I look at it. But so that's the resource that I put together for people. I'm going to go through that was just a checklist. That's just my preparation checklist. But in the resource, I also talk about just how the flow of your scope could go. And this is from watching a lot of people's, hey, Martin, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad you like it. This is for me, just watching a lot of scopes. Thanks, Jeff. Thank you. That's so nice. I wonder, where did you guys hear about me? Did you find about my group? Did you just, did you see a group announcement? I'm kind of interested in how you found me. It's a marketer in me. I want to know, how did you find me? So I talk about the flow of a Periscope, just a suggested flow of how to open it. And I go through about, I think, 10 or 12 different ideas. You know, you want to welcome people and recommend it. Oh, thank you. That's cool. You know, talk about Joy. Yes, I follow you. Oh, that's great. Joy, you're in Joy's group, Joy Poulsen? I love that group. Periscopersgroup.com, as an aside. Go there if you need resources on Periscope, tips on Periscope, and you want to be part of a really cool community. Go, go, go. Periscopersgroup.com. So I talk about a suggested flow for how you would run a Periscope. Probably one of the most important things is that you get to the content really quickly, that you respect people's time, that you don't spend a lot of time, you know, talking about yourself per se, but just getting to the content. And I talk about calls to action and why they're really important in there. And I also, let me just find it so I can tell you exactly what it says. And I also give you, there you are, checklist. The broadcast flow, as I mentioned, and then I also talk about some equipment ideas, things that you might want to think about if you're starting broadcasting and you're not sure what to get or what's really important. I talk about the importance of kind of lighting and making sure you have the best environment so people can view a good video or good scope from you. And I talk about, you know, things for your phone in different settings. So it's kind of meant to be a resource so that you guys can get a sense of how to get started really quickly. And then there's other things I'm developing that are a little more in depth, what are going to be, you know, reviewing the app, what are the settings, how to use it. And I want to get a lot more into the marketing side, because there's many ways that you can use this for business and marketing, and from, you know, events to, you know, mastermind, you know, giving people sneak peeks into that, doing little mini trainings and micro lessons, interviews and Q&As. I mean, there's so many things that you can do that I want to get more into the promotion and marketing side of using live stream apps like Periscope. So there's a lot that I'm planning down the line. So what I want is for people to follow me if you feel like I've given you some value here, or that there might be some future scopes that you might be able to jump on where I can give you some more resources and information. That would be great. I'm all about the back and forth. So a lot of my scopes are just going to be getting information from you, talking and sharing, because I don't like talking to myself. I like talking with other people and getting that feedback. And if you think what I discussed in this scope was helpful, I'd appreciate you sharing it out to your followers so we can just get some more good information out there. So the last thing I want to talk about is just where to get this stuff, what I've been talking about, the checklist, the guide, and get access to some other information. I also have links to the Periscope group. I also talk a little bit about, on this resource page, some apps and other things that you might want to think about if you're going to repurpose your content. So if you do a scope and you want to do more with it and try to get 3 or 4 different pieces of content out of it, that's something that I'm actually putting a really cool video together about. I don't think I'll do it on Periscope because I need to share screens, and there's some techie things that I want to do, so it'll probably just be a YouTube thing. But those are the types of things that I'm working on going forward. So I'm going to refer you to my group. So I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see where to go, or to the page where the resource is, so you can download things there, and you can get access to that. So I appreciate your time. If there's any questions, because I did talk about a lot of things, or if you want to share information about maybe how you do your broadcasts, or questions about broadcasts, and how to stay focused and prepared, feel free to pop a question in, because then I can drink some water. So that'd be great. Thanks for the hearts. Who is that? I want Periscope. I'm really serious about Periscope telling me who gives me the hearts, because I want to know when they come up so I can thank you. Because right now I'd have to like move my screen. It's too much work. Give her some hearts. Hey, thank you, Martin. I appreciate that. If hearts were dollars right now, I'd be rich, people. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Queen of Tea. I like you. I'm going to follow you because I want to see, I'm going to view your profile right now. See if I can do that. I can do it without losing you. That's wonderful. Come join my tea revolution. Share a cup of tea, earn money, fall in love with your job. queenoftea.com. You're now my favorite person. I love that profile. So if anybody loves tea, go to queenoftea.com. Please follow this lady, because anyone who loves tea like that, she's got to be cool. Thanks so much for the hearts. Are there any other questions or anything else that you guys want to talk about? Because I could go from this to Netflix to Big Brother. I could talk about it all. Thank you. Oh, that's I love that you said that. That's so sweet. I did put work into looking somewhat decent today. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to turn the camera around and show you where to go to get those resources, and stay in touch with me, especially today, because I'm going to do more of these. I'm going to do it till my voice runs out. Basically, that's what I'm doing for you guys. I'm putting myself on the line. So thank you so much. All right, I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see where to go to get that stuff. I really appreciate you guys. The interaction was great. I think you're fabulous. And if you have questions, you know where to find me, right? So I'm going to end with this. Hold on. And scope you later, people. Thanks. So if you go to jolynnoblack.com, go to /Periscope, and see how I'm giving you a heart. Yeah, I'm not so good at arts and crafts. You can also tweet me a question if you have any questions after this with the hashtag #AskJolynn. And go to jolynnoblack.com /Periscope, and you'll get all my tips and tricks. So I'm excited thanks for the hearts. I'm excited to interact with you guys more and get more resources together for you guys so you can rock out your scopes. For the hearts. All right. I don't want to say goodbye because you guys are so cool. Thank you so much, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.